So I started watching The Skin Deep at a time of my life where things didn't make much sense. I didn't know what was happening at work. I didn't know what was happening in my romantic life. Just wasn't sure where life was going exactly. And The Skin Deep reminded me that even though things may not make much sense that exact second, it does not mean that things will not make much sense later on. And it reminded me, in essence, that I have a story to tell and that I'm important no matter what's going on. I think The Skin Deep produced two segments that I really like. My favorite couple would have to be Ben and Sidra, and that's because you can really tell the amount of love and admiration and respect they have for one another. But I think the important lesson is that they paint a more realistic picture of how love is. And that is, there will be ups, there will be downs, there will be arguments. You have to understand sometimes one another and from what perspective each person comes from. And yet at the same time they also show very much in the video the rewards that come with it. When you're in it for the long haul, you can tell that they have a very deep love for one another and admiration and respect, and they really understand one another. I'm definitely also blown away by their vocabulary and ability to express one another in front of one another. I think that's what I seek in terms of my own romantic life, and I think a lot of us seek that deep understanding and deep connection too. And I think that's why they are my favorite couple. But I think the Skin Deep also produced another very important segment, and that's the father and daughter segment of Rosa and Jane. And that just shows you can tell a very important, amazing story that's beyond a language, that's beyond a border. And the theme is universal. I wanted to go hug my mom and dad afterwards. But most importantly, it reminded me that I'm unique and that I have people that love me. And even though I'm not perfect, and even the people who love me may not be perfect, it doesn't mean that they don't love me any less. And they still want the best for me. And the Skin Deep does this thing very well, which allows me to take a step back, regardless of what's going on in my life, and to remember that I'm important and I have a story to tell. And it definitely changed the way I interact with my surrounding and the people around me. And I remember that I'm important and that there's many other people in the world with different stories and different battles. And so thank you, The Skin Deep, for producing really amazing, interesting, entertaining, thought-provoking content that I think about long after I first watched it. And so I can't wait to see what new content comes out every Wednesday, and I can't wait and see what's happening in the future. Thank you so much for changing my life.